Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. Today's Starborn show has got an ominous title to it. It is called Future Financial Challenges, and that is because a curious thing is happening in the heavens right now. It is that all 10 planets are only in one half of your chart, and the other half of your chart is completely empty. And that simply means that in one half of your life, nothing's going on at all. And in the other half of your life, you can be consumed with different kinds of challenges or problems or ideas or plans that you have right now. And that is because there is a preponderance of planets in only one sign, and it rules the future. And that is because there are 5 planets in the sign of Aquarius, and they're all being trined by a 6th planet in an air sign as well. So 6 of the 10 planets are in the conceptual, creative air signs. And that means you could just have a million ideas right now. And so what we see is that in Aquarius, both Mars and Pluto are in Aquarius, and they are both at the same degree, the 4th degree. And so they are exactly conjuncting each other. But Mars and Pluto are the rulers of Scorpio, a fixed financial sign that they are squaring. That's not too good. And then that Mars and Pluto are conjuncting the Sun today at 9 degrees of Aquarius. Well, Aquarius rules the future. It rules things ahead of their time. It rules invention. It rules music. It rules electronics. It certainly rules drones. And it rules artificial intelligence and computers and outer space. So all of those things are really highlighted right now, because Mars and Pluto are conjuncting the Sun at 9 degrees, and then that Sun itself at 9 degrees is conjuncting 2 other planets, Mercury at 13 degrees of Aquarius and Venus at 14 degrees of Aquarius. So all 5 of these planets, in one way or another, are conjuncting each other, and that makes them a powerhouse group of planets. And they're all trining the Moon today, which is at 13 degrees of Gemini. And Gemini rules youth, but it also rules people with youthful attitudes, and it rules short or temporary and part-time efforts. It rules short travels. It rules short forms of education like training seminars or vocational schools, and it also rules the ability to be very versatile and adaptable and to do 2 things almost at the same time, because Gemini rules the twins. These 6 planets are all trining another air sign, Libra. It doesn't have any planets in it, but it's getting an awful lot of backup from 6 very strong planets. And Libra rules partnership, and it rules peace and compromise and negotiation. And above all, it rules the law and all legal contracts. So those things are highlighted as well. And so you could be having your mind on a lot of different creative ideas or plans that you want to make, or short travels, or short forms of education that you're considering, or even a new partnership, or possibly a move. All of those things could be on your mind right now. But the problem is that there can be some financial challenges coming up too. However, at the same time, you may be willing to undergo some financial challenges in order to do something that makes you feel good. And the reason why is that there are another 2 planets that are also trining each other in the water signs. The water signs rule our feelings, and they also rule healing. And so this may be a good time for you to think of new things to do in order to heal from something else that had been unpleasant or had made you unhappy. And you could do that right now, or that's why might be why you want to form a new partnership, either at work or in business or in your personal life. And that's certainly possible, because today there's only one exalted planet in the heavens, and it's Jupiter. And it is exalted in Cancer, the sign of the home, but Cancer also rules the 4th house of home, the last half of life, and endings. And Jupiter is an absolutely excellent planet, and it's exalted in Cancer, which means there can be some very good endings around that you can be ready for now as you think of new things that you want to do, or new people that you want to have in your life, or even new moves that you want to make. Because that Jupiter in Cancer is trining a very strong planet, and that is Saturn. It's at 28 degrees of Pisces today. Neptune is no longer in Pisces. Neptune moved into Aries, so it's not there. But that Jupiter is trining Saturn, and Saturn is the planet of time. And so it might be that now is a good time for you to be thinking about some endings or a possible move at the same time that you're thinking of your future and what your future plans are going to cost. And the reason why you can have your mind on money as well is because even though in your chart, one half of your chart is completely empty and there's nothing going on, while in the other half of your chart, all 10 planets are located and they're very busy. But at the same time, all 10 of those planets are being squared by some other planet. And a square represents a challenge. And so, excuse me, that's what's happening. Sorry about that. A little cough. It's very cold right now. And that sort of has an effect on my voice. I'm sorry. But anyway, as you're thinking of something new that you want to do, or somebody new that you want to be with that could make you feel better, that is certainly possible right now because that exalted Jupiter is being trined by Saturn. Saturn is a slow planet of time, and it requires, it rules delays and obstructions, but it is in Pisces, which rules things behind the scenes, and Pisces rules dreams, as well as omissions and deceptions and things that have been hidden behind the scenes. But if you've had a dream, a really secret dream of yours, and you are thinking of making that come true right now, and it's going to take a couple of other things ending first before you can do that, this would be probably a good time for you to think about that because it would make you feel better. And remember, the water signs rule healing. And so this is a good time to heal from perhaps some other turmoil or problem that you have had in your past that honestly you'd like to get over, and you'd like to go into some other way of doing things that could make you happier. Well, that is completely possible. But at the same time, we have to look at what challenges you can be facing. I think mainly they're going to be financial. And that is because there are 6 planets in the fixed signs that are all squaring each other. That's quite a challenge because it's 6 of them, and there's only 10 up there. And 5 of them are in Aquarius. Remember, Mars and Pluto and the Sun and Mercury and Venus are all in Aquarius, but they are squaring a malefic planet in Taurus, Uranus. Uranus is called a malefic planet because it's a planet of instability and volatility and rebellion and wanting to do things in a sudden, surprising way. Well, the problem is that Uranus, one malefic planet, is squaring Mars, another malefic planet. Mars is known for jealousy and aggression and war, and Uranus is certainly unpredictable. So these 2 malefic planets squaring each other among 6 planets that are actually squaring each other could set up some roadblocks for you, and particularly financially, because remember I had mentioned that Mars and Pluto are conjuncting in Aquarius, but they're squaring the sign they rule, Scorpio. Uranus is opposing the sign of Scorpio, which is the other fixed financial sign, and the 5 planets in Aquarius are all squaring that Uranus as well. At the same time, these 6 planets in only Aquarius and Taurus are affecting the other 2 fixed signs harshly. And that is because the 6 planets in Aquarius are opposing Leo. Leo doesn't have any planets in it. And so Leo rules gambling. And Leo rules love affairs and children and sports and the entertainment world and having a lot of fun. It rules parties. But there's all these planets in Aquarius opposing Leo, which can make their future very uncertain. And then Uranus is opposing Scorpio. It's the other fixed financial sign. And all 6 planets are, all 5 planets in Aquarius are squaring Scorpio as well. Scorpio is taking a hit because its own rulers are squaring it. And so is another malefic planet, Uranus, which is opposing it. So you could have financial problems, and that's why you could be facing financial challenges. And these challenges would involve resistance, because fixed signs don't budge. And so they could involve the kind of resistance that is coming from other people who are jealous or vindictive, or they are greedy, or they can simply be envious of changes that you want to make. And so they can be setting up resistance to you trying to make a change. It could be financial resistance, they could be threatening some sort of financial problem, or else they could be thinking that they can charge you a lot of money, or they can cost you a lot of money in one way or another, or they can just try to set up any kind of roadblock due to the jealousy, greed, or envy that they feel about you wanting to get on with your life and do something that makes you feel better. So you have to understand that there is resistance around. So that's a challenge. Then there are another 2 planets that are in the mutable signs. Mutable signs are pretty easy to get along with, but not when they're challenging each other. And that is happening because today, that moon that is in Gemini, which is being trined by all the planets in Aquarius, so it has a lot of backup, is still being squared by that Saturn in Pisces. And in this case, these 2 planets represent perhaps parents. And that is because the moon rules women or mothers, and Saturn rules fathers or authority figures. And they're coming up against each other right now. But they're also affecting the other 2 mutable signs. And so the moon in Gemini is opposing Sagittarius, and Saturn in Pisces is opposing Virgo. So there's nothing in Sagittarius or Virgo, but those signs are feeling some sort of conflicting opinions that are going all around them. And they're having to deal with conflicting opinions even though there's nothing in their signs. And everybody's having to deal with conflicting opinions because these planets are squaring each other. And Gemini is a communication sign. And Pisces, where Saturn is, rules things that are hidden behind the scenes, so there could be even more communications coming out. You don't know if they're the truth or not, but they could still be coming out. And then there are 2 planets in the cardinal signs, and they are squaring each other. That's what I mean by all 10 planets are being squared by some other planet, and that represents challenges, because the exalted Jupiter in Cancer, and nothing can beat an exalted planet, it's the only exalted planet right now, is being squared by Neptune, which has just gone into Aries. Neptune is not happy in Aries. Neptune is a dreamy, nebulous, sensitive, creative planet, and it is in a sign now, Aries, which is ruled by Mars, which is aggressive and sort of wants to be out there and be first. And so Neptune in Pisces represents false starts. Neptune in Aries represents false starts because Aries represents new beginnings. So there can be some new beginning that somebody wants to make that is running up against the possibility that something else has to end first. Remember, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. It's squaring that Neptune, but Cancer rules endings. And so there's sort of a conflict. Somebody can't get a new beginning off the ground until they're ready to end something else. Or if people want to stand in their way and create resistance and not let them end what they want in order to feel better, then they'll create false starts of one sort or another. And that could lead to conflict. So those things are going on. So I just thought I'd tell you that I think this is a week that you're going to be facing some future financial challenges one way or another. But it might be worth it. In other words, it might be, if you really do want to feel better there's a trine in the water signs. That could help you out. Maybe it's time for some overdue endings. Or if you have some really good idea and you're thinking, I can't do this by myself, I need a good partner. Well, there are 6 planets trining each other in the air signs. They all trine Libra, which rules partnership. So that's possible too. Do you see? You have possibilities to go in new directions. But you might have to end a few things, or perhaps not pay attention to everybody who's trying to set up resistance or who has conflicting opinions right now. Maybe you're going to have to sort of ignore them and just go on your own way. So I hope you give that a try. Okay, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries for you. What it means, Aries, since Neptune just came into your sign, is that you can be really excited about some new start. And you can be all revved up and ready to go, Aries. But you may not have considered all sides of a question. Or it can be that you're very ready, but someone else isn't. Or it can be that you still have one foot stuck in the past, or there's some information that can be coming out from behind the scenes that might be uncomplimentary to you or might represent some sort of a barrier to your new start. Or it can just be that you are all revved up and ready to go, Aries, with your wonderful enthusiasm, but you're not quite as well prepared as you could be for a new start. And so perhaps you don't have quite enough money. I mean, you could know where the money is, but it's not exactly in your hands. And so, you know, you might have to do a little bit more homework, Aries. And there is something connected with a new start that you're kidding yourself about. And it could be that you think it can go just snap like that and begin. Maybe you're kidding yourself about how much preparation has to go into your new start before you can get it off the ground. I don't know what it is, but Neptune in your sign for years to come is going to represent false starts or the fact that you're able to kid yourself about things. This could even be kidding yourself about a health habit. That actually a health habit of yours could be standing in your way. So you need to be a little bit careful about that too. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time, Taurus, when, I'm sorry about that, it's 28 degrees, it's cold. But anyway, Taurus, what it means is that you have Uranus in your sign right now. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's going to be hard to get through this, isn't it? So thank you for your patience. Uranus is in your sign, Taurus, but it's taken a hit from 5 planets in Aquarius that are all squaring it right now. The problem is that it's Mars and Pluto tightly conjuncting each other at the 4th degree of Aquarius that are opposing or are squaring your sun sign, along with the Sun, Venus, your own ruler, and Mercury as well. Something that you have your mind on, Taurus, about the future, and it could be a future plan of yours or a future idea of yours or some financial matter. Yours is a fixed financial sign. So you could be saying to yourself, well, if I just had the money to do this or that, I could really get that off the ground right now. And I don't think that you can, Taurus. And the reason why is there isn't anything else in earth signs. There's nothing trining the Uranus in your sign. And Uranus is a malefic planet all by itself. So in the last 6 years when it's been in your sign, or almost 6.5 years now, Taurus, you have been subject to sudden surprising changes, because that's what Uranus rules. And this could be in your investments as well. So this is a very good time, Taurus, for you to really watch your money closely. And I wouldn't place a bet on anything right now, Taurus. And the reason why is that the 5 planets in Aquarius that are squaring your sun are opposing Leo, and Leo rules gambling. This is not a good time for you to take a gamble at all. But at the same time, where are you going to get the money for everything that you want to do? Maybe you think that that somebody else is going to put up the money for you. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Not with Mars and Pluto squaring your sun. They're only at 4 degrees in Aquarius. They're going to stay squaring your sun for a while. And that's not going to be good, because Venus is also squaring your sun. It is, since Venus is your own ruler, It can be that either you, Taurus, are sort of getting in your own way and fighting yourself or your better common sense or whatever. You can be conflicted about something, and that can create a little mental turmoil for you right now. That's hard to live with. Or it can be that somebody else wants to go their own way and do their own thing. Maybe they're wanting you to put money into what they want to do instead. And that may not exactly be what you have in mind. So I would say that there are conflicting opinions around you. There are people that might be wanting to set up resistance to your ideas. And one reason could be, Taurus, is that you could be having ideas which would have been great when you first had them. But because times change and people change, the same ideas that you're having now may not appeal to other people who have their minds much more on the future than you do. In other words, Taurus is a sign that likes to keep their feet on the ground. And they succeed by continuing on, just sort of working hard and, barreling through problems. And other people could be having their minds so much on the future, Taurus, that they're not listening anymore. And it isn't that they don't like you or anything, it's that they've just got their minds somewhere else right now. And they are not receptive to the same ideas that you've had for a long time. And that is why, if I were you, I wouldn't take a gamble or a chance on anything right now, Taurus. Try to sit something out. Or else ask yourself how badly you really want to go into the future. How much of your money you want to risk on something when you don't know if it's going to work or not. Taurus is not a risk taker. And so none of the earth signs are. And so it might be better for you just to take a vacation right now by yourself, Taurus, and do a little bit of thinking about how far down a future road you want to go and who's going to pay for it. Because maybe you're better off right where you are. And you would be secure there. And Taurus likes to be secure. And if you're in a position where you're already secure, then why do you want to risk something new? Just stick to what you're good at, Taurus, and good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, the moon is in your sign today, Gemini. Oh, that means there can be a lot of light on you. And there could be extra light on you right now, Gemini, because all 5 planets in Aquarius, Mars, Pluto, the Sun, Mercury, your own ruler, and Venus, which are tightly conjuncting each other right now, are all trining your sun where the moon is, Gemini. You could be sort of sitting on top of the world, or you could have a great idea, or there could be some sort of a spotlight on you right now, Gemini. Or at least you could be looking in the mirror and liking what you're seeing. That would be great too. But you are expected to meet or come in contact with a new partner in one way or another. It could be a neighbor. Your sign rules neighborhoods. You may be thinking about a move that you want to make, or some adjustment that you want to make in your home, or some addition that you want to put on, or something like that. Or it can just be that you are mentally very open to trying new things right now. And I can see why. With 5 planets in Aquarius, all trining your sun in Aquarius rules the future, I think you really are open to, good ideas and meeting new people and even forming new partnerships. Why not, Gemini? The world is your oyster right now. The only drawback is that there could be some information coming out from behind the scenes that might disillusion you. And that is because Saturn is in Pisces, and it is the only planet that is making a harsh aspect to the moon in your sign. But it's squaring the moon in your sign. So there could be some family matter or a parental matter that is in conflict in one way or another, or there could be conflicting opinions about some sort of a move or some sort of family issue that is coming up right now. And I wouldn't press your point too hard right now, Gemini. You have so many good things going for you. If you don't get your way on everything right now, that's okay, Gemini. Just wait for a better time. Because there are a lot of people that are looking at you with fresh eyes right now, and they really like what they see. And so the only thing that could be holding you back, Gemini, right now is you. So don't do that. Just put a smile on your face and go forward, and you might be very pleasantly surprised by the number of people that can compliment you or want to be around you or can invite you to things. And your star is shining right now, Gemini. You may wonder why. I think it's because all 5, and that's 50% of all the planets in the universe, are only in Aquarius, the sign of the future, and they're trining the moon in your sign right today. And so you have a lot going for you. There could be a favorable legal decision that would do you some good. There could also be the offer of a new contract or some sort of addition to your current job, or else a new job. Even if it's only a part-time effort, it would be sort of tailor-made for you, a Gemini, and you ought to say yes to it if you do get another offer. You can do 2 things at the same time and manage your time quite well. You're very good at that, in fact, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Cancer. Jupiter is still exalted in your sign. It's going to stay there until summertime. And so the tenure of Jupiter in your sign is only half over because it came into your sign last summer and it's not going to leave till this next summer. And so this is a time with the exalted Jupiter in your sign being trined by that steady Saturn in Pisces. And that's the only thing that's trining it right now. But it simply means that if you've had a dream that you've had for a very long time that never actually quite got off the ground because there were innumerable delays and obstacles to it, this is a time that you could take another look at that, Cancer, and you might be pleasantly surprised by the fact that there aren't so many obstacles anymore. And it can be because you're feeling that this is the right time for you to end a few other things in your life that have been holding you down or dragging you back. And you know, that isn't the way life goes, Cancer. Life goes forward. And so this is a very good time for you to decide to make a dream come true. And I think that you're going to be able to do that because you're feeling that it's the right time, or else it's the right thing to do to make you feel happy and to make you feel more settled and to make you feel complete. You know, nobody is really complete by themselves. We all need each other in one way or another. So if there is a fond dream that you've had and it's always been a little out of reach, I don't think it is out of reach anymore, Cancer, and you ought to try to go for it. In fact, you know, Cancers are a little bit shy, and sometimes they can be a little bit timid, but, you know, haven't you waited long enough for happiness, Cancer? There's nothing stopping you now. And if you need to say goodbye to some things in your past, well, why not? You know, you sometimes have to let go of a few things in order to make room in your heart for new things. But that's what keeps us young. That's what keeps us going, is when we are willing to open our hearts to new things to do, new people to be with, new experiences to have. That's what keeps you alive, Cancer. Nobody can crawl into a shell and stay alive for too long, because all they're doing is protecting themselves out of fear. And fear doesn't get you anywhere. And so you just simply have to be a little bit more courageous. And this is a very good time to do it. Jupiter won't be back, when it leaves this summer, it won't be back for 12 years to your sign. So you're going to be 12 years older. And don't be 12 years older and still wishing that you had made that dream come true, even though it'll be too late by the end of this summer. It'll be too late maybe sooner than that, because Saturn is about to leave Pisces and go into Aries. And it can be that if you've been dreaming about someone or something that you want to do, and maybe somebody's been waiting around a long time to connect with you and you haven't done it yet, Cancer, maybe they're just at the end of their rope too. Maybe they're so tired of waiting that they're going to go on and start something new, and there goes your chance. So if you have a dream, come out from under your shell and try to make it come true, Cancer. It's the right thing to do. And besides, you won't know how much happiness could be involved in that until you step forward and open your heart to it. So this is the time to do it. You couldn't have a better time than right now. Because there's a lot of other planets. There's so many planets in Aquarius. The next solar eclipse next month is in Aquarius. Everybody is thinking about the future. You can't let your past hold you back. You have to go forward, Cancer. Because that's the way life goes. The sun comes up in a new place every day. Even the sun doesn't stay in the same place. So why should you? Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, your sign is taking a real hit, even from your own ruler. And that is because your sign doesn't have anything in it, but there are 5 planets in Aquarius opposing it. The sun, your own ruler, is being conjuncted by Mars and Pluto, the rulers of Scorpio, and those 3 are opposing your sun sign, and Mercury and Venus are also in Aquarius opposing your sun sign. So what does that mean for you, Leo? Well, it means, Leo, since yours is a fixed sign, and so is Aquarius, it means that there's a lot of people that are thinking that it's now or never to go into the future, so they're going to do it. And they may do it all together, because there's 5 planets there, or they may just decide each to go their own separate new way. And none of them are headed toward you, Leo. And so, what can you do about that? Well, Leo, you can reach out. You can decide to go into the future. You just might have financial problems right now that are stopping you a little bit or slowing you down. But the future's calling everybody. The next solar eclipse, which is next month in Aquarius, is also going to oppose your sun. If you don't want to get left behind, Leo, you are going to have to make some sort of a new start. And Saturn in Aries, Neptune in Aries is now trining your sun. You might be kidding yourself a little bit about what kind of new start you want to make, or you may be underestimating how much it's going to cost, or how much work you might have to put into it, or how long it's going to take, because Neptune is a planet that can make you kid yourself about things, and it's in the sign of Aries, new beginnings, but it is trining your sun. And so you need to make a new beginning, Leo, because the world is not going to come to you. It just isn't. There's too many other planets going in opposite directions, because not only are all 5 planets in Aquarius opposing your sun sign, including Mars and Pluto, which are the rulers of the fixed financial sign Scorpio, which squares your sun sign, but Uranus in Taurus, another malefic planet in a fixed financial sign, is also squaring your sun. And so you have money problems, Leo. And I would say, from the way it looks right now with so many planets adversely affecting your sun sign, that if you had been expecting some money to come your way, and you'd even been counting on it, it's not going to make it. It won't be there. And there could be a number of reasons why it won't be there. Maybe somebody else can't afford the money anymore, so it's not going to be there. Maybe there are going to be budget cuts. Maybe there are financial constraints. Or maybe there's just resistance the other people have to something you want to do. And because of that resistance that can be caused by jealousy or envy or greed, maybe they're just not coming your way, Leo, but they're not. And so if you have money problems, that's the first thing, that's the first priority you should have, is how to live on a smaller budget. And you're going to have to figure out how, Leo. And your sign rules extravagance. Oh, I bet you it would kill you to cut down on your extravagance in one way or another. But just think of it as making your wallet or your bank account healthier. if you just keep the money in the bank and not spending it so much. So try to give that a real big effort of yours, Leo, because you can't go into the future unless you can afford it. Okay, it's going to be on your nickel if you're going into the future. And it doesn't look like you can afford everything you want to do right now, Leo. So, okay, maybe you just have to step back and cut down on your budget a little bit, or sell some things and raise more money. But I would say extravagance is the last thing you should be thinking about right now. And balancing your budget and trying to move forward on something new, but even on a smaller budget would be a good idea. So I wish you the best of luck. Because other people are going to go into the future, and they're going to do it without you. If you don't adapt to new ways of thinking and new people and new things that you can afford on a smaller budget. Leos are very talented people, but I don't think there's going to be enough money around to make you as happy as you'd like to be, Leo. So you're going to have to depend on your own financial resources from now on, and that is going to present quite a challenge at this time. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, there aren't any planets in your sign, but there is one that is opposing your sun sign, and it is Saturn in Pisces, and it is at 28 degrees in Pisces. So there could be something that you know about, either that involves your health, your mental health, or your physical health, that you might have been putting off for a while, Virgo, and you need to sort of attend to some matter that's been hanging on behind the scenes for a while. It's not going to go away until you do attend to it, Virgo. So you just have to be a little bit more conscious and do what you have to do in order to be in better health, either in your mental attitude or psychologically or physically. Because Saturn has come back into Pisces and is opposing your sun sign, meaning that there could also be some people that have been waiting a very long time for you to sort of step up and make your move, Virgo. And if you haven't done it yet, you might think about that. But if you have good reason not to, if you're around people that are not really your type, and so you're not stepping forward, well, that's a pretty good reason not to. You know yourself better than anybody else, Virgo, so that's good. There could be a conflict in home or family relationships too, because the moon in Gemini is squaring your sun at the same time that Saturn in Pisces is opposing it. And the moon and Saturn represent women and men, or mothers and fathers and authority figures. So there is a family matter that has to be cleared up, Virgo. I'm not sure it's going to be cleared up right now, but there could be people that are thinking about that, and maybe you could be too. And even if this is not a time when you want to make a move, because Virgos are very practical people, and they deal in numbers, and they deal in dollars and cents. Your sign rules accounting, and it rules banking. And it rules the whole healthcare field. And so, Virgo, you're actually better at problem solving, and it's solving practical problems, not personal problems. And you're good at that. But this is a time when you might have to think about solving a personal problem, Virgo. That would be a good idea. You could at least think about that. Or, maybe you don't need to have so much resistance to the way other people are doing anything. So maybe you could consider being a little bit more flexible. Mutable signs really are very easy to get along with, and yours is a mutable sign. So if something isn't adding up right now, particularly financially, Virgo, I think if you sat down and put a pencil to a problem, a financial problem of one sort or another, and you looked at it realistically, you could probably solve it. And and that, for a Virgo, it's easier to solve a financial problem or an accounting problem more easily than it is to solve a personal problem. Because Virgos go by the numbers, and they go by the math, and whatever's in a person's heart, you really can't add that up by the numbers. You have to look at how you feel. Well, you have Jupiter in Cancer that is sextiling your sun, and that's good because it's actually trining that Saturn. And there could be a family problem that could be healed if everybody gave an inch. You know, if everybody just moved a little closer to the center, something could be solved. And that Jupiter in Cancer is sextiling your sun, and it will be till next summer. So if you're uncomfortable in a personal relationship right now, why don't you try to look at it from different viewpoints? And I'm not saying it's going to get solved right now, but I'm saying you could take a look at things, Virgo, and if you think everything has to be cut and dried, then you're never going to be able to solve a personal problem, because people deal with their hearts, not always with their minds. And the heart counts too. So just try to reconsider some things right now if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, boy, are you lucky. Your sign doesn't have any planets in it, and it's getting deluged with planetary good vibes. And that is because the moon in Gemini is trining your sun, and Mars, Pluto, the sun, Venus, and Mercury, and Venus is your own ruler, are all trining your sun too, Libra. Wherever you are, Libra, you happen to be in the right place at the right time. And people are looking at you very favorably right now. They are not looking at you with yesterday's eyes. Some of them have new ideas. Some of them have changed their minds. Some of them are really looking forward to going into the future and including you in their plans, Libra. And so this is not a very good time for you to waste your time. This is a good time for you to get out and mix and mingle, Libra, because you could meet delightful people. They could be young people because Gemini rules youth, or they could be people who simply are somewhat unusual but very creative, very conceptual, have a lot of good ideas, have a lot of talent. Okay. And they could be attracted to you too, Libra. Now you might say, well, why me? Well, first of all, your own ruler is trining your sun, Venus. Then the lights, the sun and the moon, are trining your sun. Then two planets that represent financial resources, Mars and Pluto, are trining your sun. You just have so many good things headed your way, Libra, that if you don't sort of sit up and take notice and perk up and look around at all the wonderful possibilities that there could be in your life, then I think you're just asleep at the switch. Well, you do not sit and watch the world go by right now, Libra. Get involved. Go out. Meet people. Even if they're perfect strangers. At least meet new people. They will be very attracted to you. Libras are charming anyway. And they usually try to look good. And they usually do. And because Venus is your ruler. And so this is a time when you just need to get out and follow, even if you're only following your own interests. You would be able to meet new people, young and old, who share your interests and who could open up a new window to a new world for you, Libra. This is exactly the right time to do that, because next month there is a solar eclipse in Aquarius. Okay, and it is going to trine your sun too. You are on the verge of taking a step into a new future, Libra. And I don't care how many excuses you give yourself, you're going to do it anyway. And I think the future is calling you. And whatever song the future is singing, I think you're going to like to hear it, Libra. I think you're going forward. So try to look your best. That always gives a Libra confidence, and it also makes other people happy too. So put your best foot forward right now, Libra. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Oh, well, Scorpio, your own rulers, Mars and Pluto, are in Aquarius, along with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, and they're all squaring your sun sign. But it's not too good when your rulers are squaring your sun sign. It means, Scorpio, that you could be a little short of money right now. Now, what would the money be spent on? Future projects. The Mars and Pluto are in Aquarius, the sign of the future, and maybe you just have good ideas for the future, but you don't have all the money in place to do that with. Possibly because you're lacking some financing from other people, or maybe they're not looking at your ideas. Maybe they're already committed to somebody else's new ideas, and that's the way their money is going. There also could be the possibility, Scorpio, that you're facing future financial challenges, which is what the title of the show is, because Uranus is in Taurus, it is retrograde. It's the other fixed financial sign, and it too is opposing your sun sign. It's a malefic planet. Mars is another malefic planet, and it's squaring your sun sign. You are in some sort of trouble somewhere, Scorpio. Now, it does have something to do with money or finances. And so I'm not so sure that you created the problem, but it is going to take some money to solve the problem. I can guarantee you that. And it can be that what you need to do is, I think at this time, Scorpio, is that you need to scale down, not scale up. And what I mean by that is Jupiter is exalted in Cancer and it's trining your sun. Saturn is still in Pisces and it's trining your sun. Okay, so you might have had some old ambition or wish or dream for a long time that just didn't come true. Maybe you were always putting it on the back burner because you were too busy. But it's time to concentrate on that a little bit more while Saturn is still in Pisces, because it won't be. It's at 28 degrees now. It's going into Aries. And concentrate on some other way that you can go back to something that would make you feel better, Scorpio. And you might have always known it was going to make you feel better, but maybe you just didn't have it on your agenda. Well, before you miss it completely, you'd better take another look. Because Saturn can be supporting an old dream that you had, and Jupiter in Cancer is definitely supporting you, and it's exalted, meaning that you could move, but it might be back to a place that you'd lived in before, and it also could be something that is a little closer to home and the way that you were raised, and that could make you feel much more comfortable, more like yourself. And so you don't really need to go into the future right now. That's what I mean by, you need to scale down, not scale up. And the reason why is that this spring eclipse in Aquarius next month is also going to be squaring your sun. Well, the total solar eclipse at the end of June in Leo is going to be squaring your sun. You have to depend much more on yourself now, Scorpio, for the whole year. But in the first half of this year, while Jupiter is trining your sun, and it is exalted in Cancer, which rules endings, and it rules the fourth house of home and last half of life, you need to ask yourself, what can I do that will really make me feel at home with myself and happy for the rest of my life? And you don't need a million different choices, Scorpio. You know what would really make you happy, or who would make you happy, and you know where you feel good, and you may have just been too busy going in so many different directions, or too hardworking. Scorpio rules discipline. You could have been very disciplined, trying to meet everybody else's schedule and your schedule as well, and that would have gotten you tired, but it may not have accomplished very much. That's what I mean by you don't need to scale up, you need to scale down. Because otherwise there's going to be some financial losses this year that you perhaps could have avoided if you had scaled down a little earlier. And so this is a very good time to do that, Scorpio. Cut back to what is essential and most important to you, because yours is a water sign, and the water signs rule our feelings. And you know what and who is most important to you, and you know where they are. And if you're not there, you should get there, Scorpio, before someone is just so tired of waiting that they go on to other new things instead. And you would have missed something or someone that could have made you happy for the rest of your life. and they might have been waiting in the wings. Maybe you don't have anything to do with them right now, but you probably do know who they are. And scaling down at this time in your life, Scorpio, would actually help you prolong your life. You know, expansion sometimes gets you so scattered that it fragments you so much that you don't end up anywhere. And that is not what you need. You need to come home to yourself and to whoever else could make you happy for the rest of your life. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius. This is a time, Sagittarius, when there are not a lot of planets in the fire signs. In fact, there's only one, and it is Neptune, which is in Aries, but it is trining your sun. And that simply means you might be kidding yourself about a new start, but I think you've got your mind on a new start, Sagittarius. And it can be that it could involve some sort of travel or some sort of expansion in your life. Or it could involve you taking a new step in a new direction. I think you'd like that, Sagittarius. That would be great. I'm not too sure everyone would like that, though, because the moon in Gemini is opposing your sun sign, so there could be somebody younger that is not quite as sold on your plans as you are. Or it can be that you want to sort of take off in a new direction, and maybe someone else is not quite as keen on doing that, or maybe they can't do that right now. So there could be a little bit of a conflicting opinions about things. And then at the same time, Saturn is in Pisces squaring your sun. It won't be doing that for much longer. It's going to go into Aries pretty soon. And when it does, Sagittarius, it will be trining your sun. You are much closer to either having something that you've always wanted or being in a position to do something you've always wanted. You're very close to that, Sagittarius, but you're not there yet. But you are much closer to it than you realize. Your waiting days are just about over. And they will be over once Saturn gets into Aries, because Neptune's already there. Those two planets are going to stay in Aries for years. Saturn will be there for 2.5 to 3 years, and Neptune will be there about 12 years. And they'll be trining your sun the whole time. So believe it or not, Sagittarius, you're just on the verge of doing something new that you've had your mind on. But maybe for one reason or another, it just didn't happen yet. But it still could. And so don't give up on any fond dream, or don't give up on something that's been holding you back for a while. It doesn't mean it's the end of your dreams. It just means you've been going through sort of a giant stall for a while. But that could be over pretty soon. So keep looking forward and keep looking up, Sagittarius. You're going to be able to go further than you think. Because in the second half of the year, okay, Saturn and Neptune will both be in Aries, trining your sun. But after the end of June, say in July, Jupiter will go into Leo and it will be trining your sun too. And so Jupiter only stays in a sign for 1 year, but it'll stay trining your sun between this summer and the summer of 2027. And that'll be really good for you. You'll do more traveling. And Saturn and Neptune will also be trining your sun, so you'll be starting something new as well. So you're not there yet, Sagittarius, but don't give up on anything. Okay, just think that this is a little resting period. And so rest up, Sagittarius, because you're going to be busier than you think this year, but it'll be in the second half of the year. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time, Capricorn, when you just had a very prophetic new moon in your sign at the 29th degree of fate, which means that this is a time of summation for you, when you're going to have to be thinking about, you might be coming to the end of something, Capricorn. Well, that's because the new moon in your sign was at the end of your sign at the 29th degree, meaning something is on or over for you. And then Saturn, your own ruler, which is in Pisces, and it is sextiling your sun, is at the 28th degree of Pisces. It is coming up to the 29th degree of Pisces, meaning something that you've been dreaming about or wanting for a very long time is also going to be on or over, unless you do something about it. And so Capricorn, this is a very good time, not for you to look at the glass as half empty, but start looking at how you can fill it up. Start looking at starting new things. They may not, if you've been putting off something that you have always thought that you were going to start, I wouldn't put it off any longer, Capricorn, because Saturn, is your own ruler, is still sextiling your sun, but it won't be. When it goes into Aries, it'll be squaring your sun, and that means you might be making a few false starts, or you might be a little bit over-optimistic about a new start and not really seeing it as clearly as you can see it right now. So if nothing else, Capricorn, it's a very good time for you to make plans, to make some fond dream come true. Even if you can't follow through on the plans, you could get the plans made. You could get a schedule set up. You could start really working. I mean, how can you succeed at anything until you plan it first? You have to plan it first. And that is what you should be doing now, Capricorn. So I hope you give that your best effort, because something really is on or over in your life. That's okay. If the past is past, let it go. There's other new things in front of you. And the one good thing about being a Capricorn is your sign rules old age. You're going to make it, Capricorn. And you might have to make some new plans, but why not? Each day is a new beginning. Look at it that way. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time, Aquarius, with so many planets in your sun sign, when there's nothing preventing you from going forward into your future. Nothing. The only thing that can be stopping you is money. Well, I wouldn't worry about that too much, Aquarius, because remember, you always have to have the idea before any money gets spent. You have to really be thinking something through before the money comes. The money doesn't come first. The idea comes first. Well, your sign is just chock full of good planets, and you already have good ideas, some of which are very much ahead of their time. And this is a time in all of our lives throughout the world when new ideas are going to be more readily accepted than they've ever been in the past. So give something new a try, Aquarius. You have nothing to lose. You have excellent planets in your sun sign. You have Mars and Pluto, which means you don't have the money yet to go forward and do things the way you'd like to do them. But I wouldn't worry about that money. You have to have a good plan lined up. You have to have it all written down. You have to have some visual aids to go with it to show other people, and that'll get you the money. All you have to do is your homework. And so, life is not all talk, Aquarius. You got to get things mapped out. But you can do it. And this is exactly the right time, because there's a solar eclipse in your sign next month. You are going to start something new. But now is the time when you really got to get ready for it. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, Saturn is in your sign right now, but it's being beautifully trined by the exalted Jupiter in Cancer, Pisces, and that simply means this is the time for you to make your move. It could be a real move. It could be back to a familiar place, or somewhere where you were raised, or somewhere where you can feel more emotionally secure, as if you were finally coming home. And you could be doing that, Pisces. So I wish you the best of luck. This is the right time to be doing that. And it's just about your last chance to do it as well. Because after Saturn leaves your sign, there won't be anything there. And so, gather your strength while you can, Pisces, and move forward. So thanks very much for everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye.